Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. This is Rockerdad with more Undecember tips. In this video I'm gonna give you an updated version of my Toxic Flame build. In the last video I was doing 1.1 million DPS, and in this video I'm gonna show you guys what I did to change my DPS and increase it to 3.3, so I tripled my DPS in the meantime. So let's understand everything that I did to increase the DPS, starting with the gear. So there is a video that I'm releasing pretty soon, explaining the most important damage bonuses in the game. And the test that I did was using the Toxic Flame build. So what I found out is that the dot amplification is the most amplification. Any kind of damage amplification is the most important damage bonuses that you can give to your build, together with damage multiplier. So you want to put in your weapon, you want to enchant dot amplification. That's a must. That's a top priority. Give dot amplification to your scepters. Also, it's very important that you try to give as high as possible a quality to your scepters, because that quality will increase this number here, and this number, the spell damage, attack and spell damage number. This is your base damage, okay? So all those multipliers that you get in the Zodiac, that you enchant in your gear, they are all being applied to your base damage, with a couple of exceptions like damage multipliers and damage amplifications. They will increase your total damage, but all the others will be applied to your base damage. So the higher your base damage is, the higher is your final damage output. So you want to make sure, since there are not many options to increase your base damage, you want to make sure that you have a as high as possible quality in your scepters. Now, together with your dot amplification, you want to put other damages if possible. I mean, it's expensive to keep re-enchanting, but if possible, try to get base damage increases, like 50% attack and 50% increase in attack and spell damage will increase the numbers, the base damage of the weapon. So in this other one here, I have dot amplification with poison damage, which does not increase the base damage, but this one here does plus 15 to 19 attack and spell damage. So try to get, together with dot amplification, try to get base damage increases, because it helps a lot with your final DPS. As for neck and rings, we are still using the element neck and element rings. Try to get as high as possible element damage. This is the main and probably the only damage prefix that you can give to your neck. And same thing goes to rings. So try to give as high as possible. I managed to get a 50% element damage in this ring here, so this will help a lot with your DPS. And the only other piece of gear that will give you damage bonuses is your spaulders, the shoulders. You can add poison damage here. Now poison damage is helping with toxic flame DPS again. It's working, so you can just go and enchant poison damage on your shoulders. Now this helmet here, helmets don't give they don't increase DPS. They're mostly defensive, but this is a unique one. So this unique one is very good for Toxic Flame build. It gives 20% element damage and 15% element penetration. So if you stumble across this one, consider using it, because it will increase your DPS as well. Now the other pieces of gear, look how I try to give above 10% quality to all my pieces of gear. You cannot give quality to accessories, at least if you can. I have not seen one with it. So I try to, this one, you can use your own strategy, because there is more than one way to build a Toxic Flame build. Some people will use daggers and focus on dexterity. Some people like to use barrier. Some people like to use a mix between armor and barrier. And some people think they're right and the other choices are wrong. Just do what you think is right for your character, what gives you better results. Okay, so I like using high armor and low barrier. So I'm working on my defenses after I re-enchanted. My poison resist needs a work, but I'm okay with the rest. I'll try later to make those defenses higher. It's very important to focus on your defense as well, and that's what the other pieces of gear are about, okay? So the other thing that we need to pay attention to is charms. We didn't talk about charms in the last videos, so we're gonna start talking about charms now because it's time. So there are two main families of charms that are good for this build. One is Castor and the other one is Vesper. Castor, when you get a lot of Castor charms here, you will get these bonuses. Like this Castor charm is giving me plus 14%. So you add all your Castor charms together, they will add up and give you these bonuses here. This is like a family bonus. And the Castor gives you plus 50% element damage, and the final one is 30% element damage amplification. Vesper will focus on poison alone, so it's going to give you 60% poison damage and 35% poison damage amplification. So Castor and Vesper are the main ones, but you don't really need to worry about focusing on these first. Focus on the top ones first. Like here I have Sefdar giving me 55% dot increase. Then here I have Boreal giving me 62% dot. This one is giving me 30% armor. I still haven't found this one here. This slot I haven't found damage to put here. And this one is giving me 37% element damage. So try to focus on the top ones first. And after you find a good one from Castor and Vesper, you can switch. But the priority is the top ones and later the bottom ones. Now, what else can we say here? What else can we show? Zodiac. Let's go to the Zodiac. Now, for the Zodiac, we start very simple. It's the same stuff. Cliff and trait 1, the damage upon spell. Then we go to Forest on trait 2, the bottom ones plus the middle one. Then we go to trait 3, Gem. Now, this is important. Don't just go and get all these damages right away. Just get enough to unlock the next traits. So get only 5 to unlock trait 4 because I have 83 points. 83 trait points to spend, and you are watching this video, you could have much less. You could have like 60 or 65 or 70, and if you try to get these right away, you're gonna make a mistake because the best damages are in the later traits and the specializations. You want to reach the late ones, the final ones, because they have better stuff there. And the reason why I have points in these damages is because I went back to these traits to unlock other traits, but that's something that you do when you are further ahead. You will put points in a trait further ahead, and then you're going to need more points, and there's nothing in that trait to increase your damage, so you go back to previous traits. So just keep that in mind. Trait 4, Seed, you get dot damage upon spell, dot damage upon spell, dot damage upon spell. Then trait 5, same thing, guys. Don't just go getting all the damage. Just get enough to unlock the next trait or the next specialization. And not only that, you don't. I took this route here because I wanted to reinforce my armor. But if your armor is okay, you can just pick another path. You can pick like element resist if you think it's better, or you can pick barrier. Maybe you're not using armor in your set, or maybe you are using dodge skills. You are focusing on dexterity and using daggers. Then you're gonna take this route. So the route that you take doesn't matter. The thing is, you need to take 3 element damages here, 30% element damages, and just come back here later if you need more points to unlock future traits. On 6, we get this one again. We go to trait 6, Breath. We get this one again because poison damage is finally helping with Toxic Flame again. It's It's usable again, so we get from here all the way to 8% poison penetration. This point here is not about the build, this is just me reinforcing weak areas in my character, so you don't need to get poison resist. Just keep that in mind. Also, in previous videos we were getting points in frost. Don't get points in frost because we don't poison our enemies. I have explained that in my video what works and what doesn't work with toxic flame. So we do not poison the enemy. We do poison damage, but the enemy does not get poisoned. So poison duration doesn't work, poison rate doesn't work, poison rate doesn't work, damage against poisoned enemies doesn't work. All right, so just forget about that. So let's go to trade 7. Trade 7. In my previous videos, I would only get all the way to here, and now because I'm using a different skill rune to force the miss, I'm getting this one. I'm testing this and I'm getting results, so for now I'm sticking to it. So I'm going all the way to 40% damage for 2 seconds upon miss. If you, after watching this video, you don't want to use the skill runes that I'm using, you don't need to get this final one. Okay, just keep that in mind. Watch the whole video before spending your points. Now we go to trait 8, dual wielding. Also one change here. I usually got all the way down here and all the way down here, but this final one here is cast speed. And what I realized is talking to players that are already at late end game, 90 plus levels, after you are farming chaos dungeons at 90 plus levels, it gets pretty intense, and a high cast speed becomes more essential. But right now I'm at level 83 and the content that I'm doing is quite easy, and what I noticed is that cast speed is not necessary, not right now, because we put 5 stacks with our toxic flame. After the enemy has 5 stacks, you can keep firing your toxic flame, you won't do any damage because you need you do dot damage and there's only room for 5 stacks, and it takes 4 seconds for 1 stack to drop, so you can put another one. So you have 4 seconds to replenish a stack. So there's no point, it only helps to put 5 stacks fast. After the enemy has 5 stacks, then it doesn't matter. So yeah, I decided, you know what, I don't need this, I'm gonna replace that with damage. Now here is something that is also different, because the skill that we are using to miss the enemies, they also will debuff the enemies. So we are using these as well. 15% damage against debuffed enemies, 15% against the damage against debuffed enemies, and 15% damage against enemies affected by its status effect. Now don't get this one up here, okay? It does not work with Toxic Flame. 12% damage against enemies affected by dot. Don't get this. I tried and didn't work, okay? Now go to specialization. Brilliance, it's the same thing. Start here, go all the way to 60% dot amplification, then all the way to overpower. Vacuum, a little change. We are going all the way down here to 10% dot amplification, and then we were getting knowledge. Now we changed that. We go we go only to 8% dot multiplier, so we can get 15% element amplification down here. So we are changing 10% for 15%. So this way is better. And then some people like to go to waterfall. I like to go to pirate, because with the new skill rune I can get a third damage amplification in pirate. We start here, go all the way here to get 15% damage amplification. We go down here to get 10% dot amplifier, and now we can go down here and get 10% damage amplification against the buffed enemies. So these also helped increase the DPS. So that's the Zodiac. Let's take a quick look at Mastery, because Mastery is also important if you have at least 9 points. I focus on weapon. You get 3 points here, just the minimum to unlock the next ones. So get 3 points here, you increase your spell damage, and then you get 5 points here, you continue to increase your spell damage. And if you have 9 points, you can put 1 point here, and you're gonna increase what? Damage amplification. Damage amplification, you're gonna hunt down at damage amplification in this game. You're gonna look for damage amplification everywhere to get to your build, okay? Let's take a look at Relic first. So I'm using Vesper. I like Vesper a lot. As a passive skill, I'm using Enhanced Avatar damage. So take notice, this is avatar damage, okay? So plus 78% damage to my avatar. And active skill, I use Poison Orb. Now, take notice that I'm using a Inflict Poison link skill. It raises 20% chance to poison. Now, who's poisoning the enemies is my relic. Okay, so it's not my skills. My relic is poisoning the enemies. Now let's take a look at the runes, and you're gonna understand why I'm using those skills with my relic. So here's my toxic flame. I managed to craft this one finally, element damage amplification. So now it's part of my set. I have also managed to get enough essences to make these rare finally. This is not with money, guys. This is just playing the game. So if I do it, you can do it. I have maximized the level of my dot, which is the main link skill. This is the one that is going to give you a lot more damage. It's this one. And I'm linking these two to my poison area. So also important for Toxic Flame, we have poison penetration, we have spell damage increase, and additional poison damage. Now I have removed multi-shot, and I have replaced it with deadly poison. Why? Because I had 13 projectiles total, 10 from Toxic Flame, because now my Toxic Flame has 8 flame counts. It was 10 with this, and my relic was firing 3 projectiles. So I reduced from 13 to 9 projectiles, but I'm increasing damage. Now, you see here I'm using Deadly Poison, and a lot of people have questioned, Deadly Poison doesn't work with Toxic Flame. Well, it's not really like that, let's understand. The thing is, Deadly Poison, and I have shown this on live stream, and people notice that my DPS increased 50,000 points of damage using Deadly Shot. Now, what happens is, when you link this to a skill rune, the skill rune cannot apply poison anymore. But Toxic Flame already does not apply poison, so that's doesn't matter. But Deadly Poison will give you 11.3% damage amplification. Remember I told you that you want to hunt down damage amplification everywhere you can find. So it's going to give you 11.3% damage amplification against poisoned enemies. Now, what do I have that can poison enemies? My relic. So my relic is poisoning enemies, and every time it poisons enemies, it activates this damage amplification against poisoned enemies. So yeah, Deadly Poison can work with Toxic Flame. Another change in Toxic Flame, as you can see here, are these white sides here. And these white sides, they give +1 level to the rune linked to it. So now my poison penetration, as you can see here, it's level 26. When I put it here next to the white side, it becomes level 27, thus increasing the bonus that it gives me. The same thing happened here to Dot, but Dot here is receiving 2 levels. Why? Because I have actually added 2 white sides to the same side, so it increases 2 levels. And how do I give a white side to my skill rune? Well, this is how you do it. Let's go here. This essence here, it's called Rune Candor Essence. It changes the color of one rune slot to white and increases the connected link rune by 1 level by chance if successful. So you can get this by disassembling a 6-slot runes, which you probably are not gonna do, but you can disassemble 5-slot runes, 5-slot skill runes, and get 1 fragment. After you combine 3 pieces, you can make 1 Candor Essence. Another way to make Candor Essences is doing Void Rifts. If you finish level 6 in the Void Rift, it will give you a Candor Essence. As you can see here, season rewards, Rune Candor Essence. So you can get it by clearing level 6 at Void Rift. So I advise you to try and do that because it really helps with your DPS. So let's go back to runes. Um, so besides the Toxic Flame, we are still using Poison Area. Nothing changed here. It's the same thing. We are still using Leap Attack and Teleport. What changed here is this. Lightning Typhoon. Um, uh, there are different link runes that you can use with Lightning Typhoon. Some people like, instead of projectile acceleration, they like to use increased duration. So I wouldn't say there's a right or wrong. There are different. There are more options than there are sides to your Lightning Typhoon, and different people have different ideas of what to use. This is my first time using Lightning Typhoon, so I'm still testing link runes. These are the first ones that people have advised me to use, and then later during the stream people have given me other choices, and then I'm gonna test those choices, like increased duration, as I told you. So this one here is status effect enhancement, because it's going to debuff the enemy, because we want that debuff, as we showed you in the Zodiac, because it's going to help us increase our damage, and it's going to miss a lot. You want to keep it at level 1 so it misses a lot, and missing will allow you to do more damage. Now I'm using the Lightning Typhoon linked to release element. That way the Lightning Typhoon will how can I say, activate the release element. I'm still testing it. It's a little bit clunky right now. I'm not sure I like the results of this. Okay, I have a suspicion that release element's not working, but I'm not sure. Now this is the only change. Weaken element totem. I have tried using it. I didn't like it, so I'm actually removing it. Some people like to use it, but I don't. So at least so far, I didn't like it. So have we touched everything? We have done Zodiacs, we have done gear. Yeah, we have touched everything. So this is it, guys. So this is the change that I have done in my build to reach 3.3 million DPS. When I attack a single dummy, I'm doing 1.4. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, if you find it useful, give a like to this video. Don't forget to like it, to share it, and subscribe to the channel. Also, we have a Discord server. The link is in the description of this video, and you can go there, find all my videos. You can also, there's a chat in English, there's a chat in Portuguese, so I have separated those chats. There's a section there for you to ask for help. If you need to help killing a boss, you can go there. There's a lot of stuff, and we have guilds with channels there as well. So it's a place where you can hang out, and instead of just waiting for videos to receive information, you can go there and change experiences and talk to other players in the community. All right, so this is it for me, and I hope to see you next time for my next video.